I'm saying? Like HellaBass live on location from Onalaska, Wisconsin. We just tournament days. We're gonna recap the first few days of the tournament. That's right, Frank. Bass after who? Oh, Worky got his first jig bite of the season. Nice. I don't think I've had a jig bite. Excuse me, man. Bum, bum, bum. 63. Bass making beds where Sly Fox is. Where are you again, Sly Fox? What's up? Yes, we are. So we finished up day two. Darius is checking in. So practiced for the Bass Nation. Look, qualifier number 3, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, half a Tuesday, and tournament Wednesday, Thursday, and tomorrow. If you make the cut, top 20. Thanks, Bateman. Looks good. Yeah, we're just working with the laptop, the webcam, the web microphone. So this isn't the studio setup, but I brought a laptop. Um, did little members last night, a little sneak peek, and so I guess fast forward, top 20. You had to finish to make the cut today. I tied for 19th, and I made it to day 3, which makes me qualified for the 2024 National Championship Bass Nation, Grand Lake, Oklahoma in November. So pretty pumped about that. So cheers. Raise your water, your Coke, or whatever you're drinking tonight. Michael actually drove home. He had a funeral tomorrow, so but yeah, worked. We started the day in 20th, and we ended the day tied with 19th. Thanks for all the congratulations. So we are on our way to our 4th Bass Nation National Championship this year. That's right, AJ. Modelo's. Dustin Bliss had some in the parking lot, and I had one at the weigh-in, and I was like, "Man, that tastes good." So when I went to Quick Trip, got myself some ice cream, and I picked up some Modelo's. We got retied. Wasn't much to retie, but yeah, we're gonna recap, celebrate with you guys a little bit, and give you a little tea on the river, what's going on, and then probably unwind a little bit, have some ice cream, and maybe another Modelo or two, and go fishing tomorrow. So uh, the river is popping off. The weights were pretty incredible, to be honest. Not black cherry ice cream. I think I got peanut butter dream, and then I bought a banana to cut up on top of it. BBC. So it was like 175 boats. You had to finish in the top 20. So this wasn't like some 40 boat tournament. This was close to 200 boats, and you had to be in the top 20. Hunter King Fishing, congratulations. Yeah. So AJ's going in the chat as well. So there's several people in the chat. Hunter, are you going as a boater or is it non-boater? The guest we had on a couple weeks ago, Chris Johnson, he'll be going. So lots of exciting things. Pretty stoked. It was a bit nerve-wracking. I weighed 16.3 yesterday and 15.4 today, and in my heart, I felt I needed 16 to get it done. And I got to 15-ish on my Rapala scale at like 10:45, and I couldn't get another bite. I just needed one more like 2 3/4, 3 pounder to get me to that 16-pound mark. And it didn't happen. I fished my butt off till the very end. Caught one like 2.33. I already had a 2.33. He was hooked a little deep, so I just tossed him back. I didn't balance beam him. There you go. Same position, Hunter. I tied, and I don't remember. We could look quick. Um, BBC, I see the question. I'll talk about the stage of the fish here in a second. Uh, let's see here. Present, share screen. One thing that's kind of fun is I don't know if anybody saw this, but I was the day one cover photo for the weigh-in gallery. So leaderboard. Let's see what did I finish? So Nick Trim, 46 pounds, which is stout on the river. And I 2 ounces, so same. Made it by 2 ounces, just like Hunter King. As far as the fishing, a lot of the fish started going on beds this week. There's new fish pulling up every day, smallies, largemouth. There are some places you can see them where the water's clear, but a lot of places you can't see them. Uh, so it's early for up here this year, probably by a week or two. Uh, there are still staging fish to be caught, but water temps, like surface temps in the mornings, a lot of days were like 56, 57. Um, in the backwaters, it's a little warmer, but the fish were ready. You can tell, the trees are blooming and budding and all kinds of things are happening. Everything's green. The fish were just ready on the river. I didn't really figure that out until the second day of practice when I was up in pool 7 and I started actually seeing them with my eyeballs. The 24-pound bag was all smallmouth clay, and I'm pretty sure they were all bedding smallmouth. The guys that are really crushing the 18 to 20 plus pound bags, for the most part, are bed fishing with perspective mode, front facing sonar. They're just going into areas and scoping the beds, looking for the fish, fishing them on their electronics. I have found out that I am not very good at that. I need more practice. Lauren, the water is a little bit high, but not like it's high, but not high for the spring, if that makes sense. Like it's at like 9-ish feet, which is like just kind of high. It's not. It's like it needs to go like another foot before it even starts flood stage. But I ran up to Lake or Pool 7, Lake Alaska, both days, and started my day each day throwing a black and blue Evo chatterbait, which I'm pretty excited about. Like the Evo chatterbait that they came out with, that's like 9.99 that Omni has, and you can use my code and get it for like 8.50. And pretty good bait. Hook's really good. Um, here's I kind of brought in a couple of my tactical minnow trailers. I've been thumping them using the tactical minnow. Yeah, my 360 died. Didn't help me. I kind of was using 360 in practice to kind of locate the beds a little bit. I was better at casting to the beds with my 360 than I was with perspective mode. So it looks like Brett Anderson fished as a co. He said he learned a lot with his day one boater catching 18 and a half on perspective. Bill, my chatterbait rod is a Sierra 734. And I got like a Shimano SLX XT, and I think this week I had it spooled up with 17-pound red Cajun mono because that's what I had in the boat. Christian said he's fished somebody in the top 10 who's using Protectimo for spawnings all day. 20 people, 20 boaters, 20 cows fish tomorrow. I was the tied for the last guy into the cut. Did you guys fish with Clayton Weber? Yeah, Clay. It was I think 175. So yeah, I know yesterday, like I felt like 16-3 was a good bag. And I was tied for 20th yesterday. And I was like, man, that's frustrating. But then I realized you still beat 155 guys. Um, Brett, you fishing tomorrow? Make sure you say hi. Day one, my co caught one on a chatterbait in the morning, and then he kind of stalled out. He went crazy and caught pike all day. The conditions in the morning were favorable for a chatterbait with a little bit of low light conditions and a little breeze, but it slicked off and got high sun. And I was like, dude, you got to throw a Senko or something like that. And he just didn't put down the chatterbait soon enough. Um, I was fishing in areas most of the day that was literally fished 360 degrees around the boat. um, so he said he learned a lot, had a good time. He did not blame me for him not catching any fish. Today I fished alone. They were short some of the coves today. Well, for the tournament. Tomorrow I will have somebody. They don't make 17-pound big game, Kyle. Justin, I was throwing a half-ounce black and blue chatterbait Evo with a most of the time I was throwing this watermelon red trailer, so a contrasting trailer. So yesterday I had a bedfish that I had saw in practice marked with a waypoint, and it was in the grass. It was a largemouth, so you could not see it on 360 or perspective mode. So I was pitching my drop shot to where I thought the bed was. Yesterday, I like lifted what I thought was a weed, and I saw the fish like come up and like spit my drop shot. So I threw back in there. It bit again, and I had it hooked up. Got it like 2/3 of the way back to the boat, and it jumped off. That one really made me mad yesterday. But today I went back there after I had my limit, and I caught it, and it weighed like 360 something. So that fish actually today did me more than it would have yesterday. Yesterday, it would have only added, you know, maybe a half a pound to my bag. Today, it was probably a pound and a quarter, pound and a half cull. So if I catch that fish yesterday and not today, I probably don't make it. I did dump one that looked like it was about 3 pounds on a chatterbait this morning that would have made things a lot more comfortable uh, at the weigh-in. Who's a good Lawrence? I know Josh Douglas does some of that, but there's a lot of guys. I don't necessarily know all of them. Well, did you get a check, Christian? The evos are solid, Seth. I'm not saying they're the same, but I caught a ton of fish. Good hook. Like I used the same evo for 3 days, and that hook was still razor sharp. It's a good chatterbait. And I feel like if everybody is throwing a jackhammer, having something just slightly different can be good. I locked up a pool. It wasn't that. I mean, it's like probably 5 miles to the lock ish, and then I was only going like Lake Onalaska's on the south end of Pool 7. The grass was anywhere from probably 2 to 4 feet, Jim. There are greenfish on beds. I saw them with my eyes in Onalaska, greenfish. And I also saw them in Stoddard on bids. Trying to think, I don't think I saw them anywhere else. Brownfish, I saw in more places. Thank you, Chris. Thanks, Gabe. Yeah, they're a little harder to catch. Uh, Talking swag tonight, I could go grab my shirt and show it off in a second. Yeah, I haven't had any issues with the line tie on the Evos. And I've caught a pile of bass and big pike this week. But I guess I'm also using mono and you know, the Sierra 734 is a pretty moderate rod. So I could see maybe people, if we're using braid, maybe that's an issue. I don't know. But so yesterday I started off with a limit on the chatterbait. Then I caught a couple smallies bed fishing with my eyeballs. And then I ended up calling 3 times on a wacky Senko. And but there was a lot of fish that ended up the water got dirty and it didn't stay as sunny as I thought it was going to be on day one. So there's a lot of fish that I had saw with my eyeballs that I couldn't sight fish. That kind of probably kept me from having a bigger bag on day one. Today I started with a chatterbait limit, but I did get one on a Baitman special spinnerbait. But the pike really liked that spinnerbait and mangled it, so I had to put it down. I think I got it straightened out now, but tonight. So I got, I don't know. I guess I only started with four. I got 3 fish on the chatterbait and one on a spinnerbait, so I left my first area with 4. But then I went back to that bedfish that I jumped off yesterday, caught that on the drop shot, and that put me up to 13 pounds. And then I just fished the conditions, and the way the wind was hitting around the corner from where I caught that bedfish, it just looked good. There was current wrapping on this rock and weeds, and I started slinging that Evo out there, and I bowed up, caught a 4 pounder, a one-eyed blind 4 pounder that jocked me all the way to 15 pounds, and that was my last call of the day. So actually, I only called once. I called like a 2.11 with a 4 pounder. I have not thrown the frog. I've heard rumors I've heard of people catching fish on frogs. I actually put it in. I'll have it on the deck. So I'm gonna try some things tomorrow. Um, yeah, there's really no pressure. Like if we looked at the standings, I'm 15 pounds out of first, and there's 19 places. That ain't happening. I also got to do. I mean, even quite a bit of work to even move up a few $100s in checks. So there's really not a lot to lose. So I'm gonna go out and try some things and have some fun tomorrow. Um, yeah, the weigh-in should be cool tomorrow. I will be updating Bass Track, so if you want to follow along, I'll update Bass Track on Bassmaster.com. We will have warm, calm, like might be a good day to actually sight fish with my eyeballs tomorrow, but we'll see. Actually, Jim, where I was fishing, I did not have. There was a few boats in the part of the lake that I was fishing, but not really. The pike in Stoddard and on Alaska right now are unreal. I also got a buzzer tied on clay. Yeah, we'll shoot for a mixed bag. I'll try to catch at least one small tomorrow. Yep, absolutely. I can move up 10 spots or more, but I can't move back any. Mike M, this tournament is in La Crosse, Wisconsin. The water temps are in the upper 50s to low 60s. That's happening in Minnesota, so it should be happening in New York. Although, If you're talking about your like smaller lakes, they should be. Your bigger lakes, like deep ones like Cayuga, that might be a little further behind. Just go to Omnia, Brett. Order the Evo. Use my discount code. You can get it for like $8. Put the code on the bottom of the screen. Thanks, Bob. Kevin is shoving his face with tacos right now, and Michael went home. What else is interesting? Yeah, I would say the Bass are spawning in New York. Yep, rotating visors for the Wayne stage. Yeah, I think Michael had like 7.5 today. I think he just missed. I don't know. He was only had 2 fish yesterday. If he could have caught a third keeper, he would have been really close to a check because they paid the 30th, which was 14-12. He ended with 13-6. So he needed like a 1.5 pounder. He would have got a check. He needed like it took 16-6 to make the cut on the co side. So he needed 8-3. So you needed like a 2 3/4 pound average for the co's. Tanner Morgan, who is a child of Casey Morgan, who I fished with at Vermilion Regional, he's got 23-10 for 6 fish. He's at a darn near a 4 pound average as a co. Actually, yeah. There's Brett Anderson, who's in the chat, 15th. Nice tournament. Justin Schmadicke is who I'm fishing with tomorrow. But the leader's on the boater side, right? 46 pounds. So it's 23 pounds a day, which is stout. Thanks, Bill. I think it's right around a grand or 1,200 for 20th. Yeah, springtime in the Crosse is it's pretty good. Co's caught him. Lacrosse Bass Nation qualifier number 3. Otherwise, my gear held up good. Other than my 360 that was refurbishedly rebuilt, did the same thing it did last time. Other than that, everything else is fine. The spillway, the Black River or the Round Lake spillway. Clay, in when you get to June through August, 18 is kind of getting up there. Like most weekend team tournaments are won with 18 to 19. Yeah, you can fish more than one. Ooh, the white bass. Yeah, tap that thumbs up button. Doesn't hurt, doesn't cost you anything. What else is interesting? It was weird fishing without a co in a tournament today. I mean, obviously, I fish with myself all the time, fun fishing, practicing, but in a tournament situation, it was a little weird. I did see that Murray didn't start today. Mercury's good, Lauren. Yeah, last week's BFL took 23 pounds to win, and there was a guy that had 20 pounds that finished sixth. Yeah, actually, there's no nets allowed um, in this tournament. No, they were short about 40 co's for this tournament. So day one I had a co, day two I didn't. But rolled some film, try to get this video done. My guy that was supposed to help me edit that I hired fell through, so that's no bueno. Um, I've had some practice. They've been doing this for several years in the regionals and nationals. So I typically don't use a net when I'm fun fishing just to practice. They don't use nets because this is a path to the classic and a path to the elite series. So, and they don't use nets, so that's why you don't use nets. Are you good? I'd rather pay somebody. But if you're interested, shoot me a Instagram or Facebook message. No. I heard a lot of stories about people losing smallies and then catching them again. It is more interesting. And that, like if you notice, um, obviously in team tournaments we use a net, but like if I do a video where I'm just fun fishing, I typically won't don't use a net because it's not interesting from a watching. I don't think. Yeah, overall, um, I think there's some things I miss about the old format, Jim. The team concept, traveling as a team, as a state, that was fun. Like there was a lot of people at this tournament, being that it was a bigger field, and that I didn't know who was there because there was like no roster that I didn't see. Um, but the payouts are better. You can, you know, if you do well, you can kind of pay your way, which is good. If you win it and make the elites, you at least have enough money to cover your expenses in the elite series. Um, you know, the national championship probably won't be like the 55 boat ones, but things got to change. Bass Nation, you know, bass fishing as a whole is not as big a sport as we all want. So we have to be comfortable with the organizations trying new things to make it work. My biggest fish today was like on my scale it was like 4.041. The biggest of the tournament. I'm sure there was a 6 pound smallie or pretty close to a 6 pound smallie caught. I definitely heard that story about Ike and the net. And Jim, I actually did an interview with Business from the Bass Boat last week that came out early this week. That I went in more in depth and kind of my thoughts on the two formats. So we talked a lot about that. Yeah, I don't think they're going to be feeding steak dinners at the national championship with 250 boaters and co's versus 50. I also think we'll be paying for our own lodging. So yeah, probably have to fill up our own gas tanks. Probably have to drive ourselves to the ramp. The Modelo is right here, JP. The ice cream is for after the stream. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the Coes thing is, I don't know. Usually the river draws really well for Coes. I just don't know if people were not in the know. Yep. Cheers, everybody. How was I can't really ask you that, Kevin. Um, but yeah, things are happening. So if you're close to the cross, you can come fish right next to Kevin every night after work. He would love it. Kevin was just telling me how he wished more people fished lacrosse. My next tourney that I am signed up for at this point is the Bassmaster Division 3 Northern Open on Lake St. Clair in July. I may or may not sign up between now and then, but that's the next tournament I'm signed up for. I'd actually, I kind of got the Jones in for the river. I don't think there's a BFL on Saturday, a week from Saturday. I don't think I haven't seen my family in like 2 weeks, so I don't think they're gonna want me to come fish the. And plus, I would get no practice. I'd take more time off from work. So if it was a Sunday tournament, it'd be easier. But it's a good question. Uh, Kevin, should I sell my Lake Onalaska spots on fishtips.com? Do you think people would pay for a good pike spot? What's up, Will? Thanks for checking in. Well, we're almost at a hundo. What? 3 walleyes on a swim jig. Yeah, or you could at least list it as an Omnia fishing report, Christian, on your walleye spot. My plan to attack live scope. I might actually do more of that tomorrow just to practice, because by the time I get back out on our lakes, like most of our lakes, there'll be so much weeds you probably wouldn't be able to perspective mode beds. So I probably will try to do it more tomorrow to get more comfortable. I did. Uh, I was struggling today, and then I realized my live scope transducer was 1 click off from being straight, so that probably didn't help. Fraying. And the guy that lays pike, there is an epic pike bite going on the river right now. When I was Sunday on Lake Alaska, I was up in this kind of bay looking for spawners, and there was like 3 boats or 2 boats behind me, 2 anglers in each one, and they were throwing spinner baits, and it was literally every minute or two, if they weren't doubling up, hearing them splashing and the blades clanking. It was unreal how fast they were catching them. It's a good question. I'm not sure when this video. I'll try to get it out sooner than later. Yeah, James. Day one, I weighed 2 smallies and 3 largemouth. Today was all largemouth. Most of my smallies were bed fishing visually day one, and I couldn't see them today. Conditions did not permit that. I tried to use perspective mode to fish them and try to fish the where I thought they were. I just couldn't make it work. Who are the top 3 front facing sonar fishermen fishing today? Ooh, names that comes out my mind. Drew Gill. I mean, Wheeler and Cannell have to be up there. Sheffield, Spencer Sheffield. Those are like the top three or four that come to name. Drew Gill is a really good. I need to have him on the show. He's an excellent interview. Yeah, I mean Ben Milliken's. I mean, there's tons of guys. Like to say top three, that's it's almost impossible. Oh wait, so did make some of these or it put got these in a storefront. Didn't really talk about them. I listed them in some of the videos and stuff, but HellaBass shirt. Um, so it's just got the HB hook logo, and then it's got the HB with the text HellaBass on the sleeve. Um, and I didn't really want to talk about it much because I wanted to see how the quality was, and I actually am pretty happy with it. So that is a thing. I'll try to come up with more things. Trying to slowly do that. People have been asking. So if you're interested, I think David expects his to arrive tomorrow. I think Brian ordered some. He said he was going to report back what he thinks. Um, but yeah, if you do grab them, let me know what you think. Overall, I think Bass Nation has done an amazing job on this tournament. Um, like they did a great job with briefing. The registration was super easy. Uh, weigh-ins were good. Yeah, just overall. So, so I put a link down if anybody wants to look at it. The shirts. Um, Fujita would be up there for a top scoper. Yep, we're just gonna have some fun tomorrow. Yeah, I haven't figured out how to do that yet, AJ, but we'll see. I don't have terms. I actually talked with Dan about doing cats. What states are represented? Does it say this? I don't think it says the state in the standings, does it? No. It was a lot of anglers from Minnesota, Wisconsin, the Dakotas, Iowa, Illinois, Ohio, several guys from Indiana. Those were the ones that I saw a lot of. I saw somebody at a ramp with Texas plates. But anybody could have came from anywhere, but I don't have a good feeling from where everybody was from. Yeah. That would be interesting to know. There was no dinner at sign up. It was just you had a 25-minute slot. You showed up, you checked your fishing license, randomly checked insurance. You did the like, what's your motor, what's your boat, what's your electronics, and you checked in and you left. It took about 5 minutes. Meeting was just a digital video briefing. I don't know. They were predicting bad weather, I guess. I don't know. I can add more colors If you guys have a color that you want, send me a message and I'll see what they have. Michigan, yep. Top 20, move on to nationals. Yes. David will get his shirts tomorrow. He'll report back. So yes, I'm headed to Grand Lake this fall in November. Brett had a boater from Oklahoma. So there were some people that wanted a I mean, I'm surprised you would think there would have been more guys from Oklahoma, right? Because they'll want to fish that natty in. So if they didn't make it in the Arkansas River, you would think they would be coming up here to try to punch their ticket back to the Grand Lake Nationals. Thank you, Clay. Pretty excited. I'm starting to get run out of energy. I'm not gonna lie. It's been a lot of days in a row staying up till 11:30 midnight and getting up at 4:35 a.m. Which we're taking off at 5:30 a.m. every morning. And with 180 boats, it takes a while to get them all launched. I've never fished Oklahoma, Jim. I've fished Texas, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, Virginia, mm, Arkansas, Missouri, not Oklahoma. Bassmaster, it should be the weigh-in should be right starting at 3 p.m. Central Time. There is also a bass track, so you can watch the bass track at bassmasters.com. Yeah, I can see my if I wasn't fishing the Northern Opens this year, I could see myself planning to fish or signing up for more than one qualifier just to give myself more chances to make the national championship. I have fished Louisiana, Kyle. Yep. Yeah, I drove to Tulsa for the classic, so basically drove to Grand. I mean, I drove to Grand Lake back in March. Christian, are you around? Are you going to the weigh-in? Will I see you tomorrow? Thank you, Brian. Yeah, won't be a very long replay. I'm fading here. It's time for ice cream. So yeah, I think we answered everybody's questions. Thanks everybody tuning in. If you guys want to go catch some bass after dark, you can do that. As always, here to help you guys go catch more big bass. Suck less.